Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. We're now really getting stuck into grade 4. I hope that you're enjoying this as much as I am. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4, and they have all the information that you'll need to accompany each step of this series. Also on my website there's a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam, specifically related to grades 4 and 5, and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your grade 4 or 5 exam, and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room. So if you visit sharonbill.com, it's all there for you. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And so if you grab a sharp pencil, a ruler and an eraser, and then we're all ready to go. And so if you turn with me to page 9, well actually page 8 first of all, and we'll just look at some of the information leading up to this next exercise 6. So we need to learn how to group things. It's showing us that these are incorrectly grouped because although this is in 6/4, it's grouped as if it's in simple time when it should be grouped in compound time. We should be reflecting groups of 3, not groups of 2. And here this is suggesting 6/8. And so we need to just be careful the way that we group things. There's nothing new really in this. We've done this sort of grouping before in the previous grade. However, there are a few more time signatures to now include, but the principle remains the same. And so exercise 6 is asking us to copy out each of these extracts, look at the time signature. So first of all, we've got to put in the bar lines, but then we've also got to beam notes correctly. So we've got quite a lot to do here, and correct notes and rests where necessary. So we've really just got to refigure each one of these. It should sound exactly the same, but it should be correctly grouped. And I think basically we always have to be careful to show the unit. So for example, we need to be showing groups of 3 semiquavers here, and so it's a matter of tidying up each group and showing that in your beaming and your rest allocation so we can easily see where each accent falls. So we've got quite a lot to go at over the page, so now we'll turn to page 9, and we've got quite a few examples to try here, just to the end of this page. And so I suggest that you have a little go yourself, or maybe just try one with me and then try the rest yourself. Don't just copy through, perhaps you won't learn it so thoroughly. It's better to learn by your mistakes and then re-access into the video at any point just to clarify, and I'll work through these with you. And so I'm hoping you've had a go of this yourself, and now we'll look at this together. So we need to be reflecting the compound nature of this time signature. We need to be reflecting 2 groups of 3, and each group is a dotted minim or a dotted half note. So let's just get going with this straight away, and then of course we will need to add bar lines as well as we go along. And so we've got at the moment it's worth 1, 2, 3 units, and it's much better to group it as a dotted minim or a dotted half note, and that shows us instantly our group of 3. So that's now dealt with much more appropriately. 1, 2, 3, nothing we can be changed there. 4, 5, 6, and there's our first bar line. So we are to there now. I'm just sort of mapping out where we've got to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't do any changes there. They're just individual notes. There's no grouping needed. So we just need to copy that over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's that one done now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, nothing needs changing there, we just need to add the bar line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it looks to me like we've got some work to do in the next bar. Okie dokie. So we've got here, this would add up to 1 minim beat, 1 half note. Now we can't have the dot because then the dot would change value. So we need to use a tie to show the remaining quaver or 8th note beat. So our group of 3 isn't quite finished yet, and actually this one will complete our group of 3, so we don't need the tail. We can beam those together, and there we can easily see 1, 2, there's our group of 3. And again, we've got some work to do here. Now that's worth 1 crochet, 1 quarter note, and those 2 also make a quarter note, and so it will be much more simple to simply write a minim or a half note. And then those 2 can be combined to make a crochet or a quarter note rest. And that is so much more easy to think of. Better put the time signature in. Much easier to perform. The performer could definitely tell where each group of 3 falls. We're in no doubt as to the compound nature of that time signature. And so we're always looking to tidy up each group shown by the rests and the beats where each accent falls. And so I'll work through this next one with you. We're in 12/8, which is quadruple time, and we're counting in 4 groups of dotted crochets. That's what we're having to reflect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so we need to reflect each group of 3, not forgetting rests. And so our first group of 3 will include a rest. So 1, 2, 3 will need to go together. Now here we're going to have to do a little bit of splitting, so let's just get this one done first of all. Take it one step at a time. Because there's 1, 2, and then one part of that belongs to that group, and then one part of that crochet or quarter note belongs to that group. So we're going to have to split it by making it into 2 quavers, 2 8th notes, and then tie it together. So it will sound the same, but it will reflect the groups of 3, like this. So we need that twice, and then tie it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's group those together. It's tied, group those together. So we've not changed the sound of it, but we can definitely see 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3. So we're now to here. And so that finally leaves us with a nice straight group of 3. 1, 2, 3. They can be beamed together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a very, very long bar of notes. If you're playing it, it'll be over in a flash. Okay, so we're here now. 1, 2, 3. So they will have to stay as they are, because we can't beam that to anything later because it belongs to this first group here. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nicely falls together, so we'll just have to beam those to reflect each group. I'll just get the note heads in first. You can do this in any order that you like. We'll have to make a decision about that stem as well. So these can all go up. It's not very tidy, just tidy that up a bit. And then I think I'm going to just flip this stem upwards, and then it can join in with these two here. There's our bar line, and we can see the quadruple compound nature, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. There we go. Let's move on to the next one. So this next one is in simple time. We're in minim or half notes, and we've got 3 of those per bar, and so we need to show that in our grouping and allocation of notes and beams and so on. So let's just get the basics in. We want a bass clef, time signature. Okay, so we're trying to show units of a minim or a half note each time. So instead of having 2 crotchet rests, we can just instantly show a 1 beat of a minim or a half note rest. There's 1 2 3 1 2. We're in 2s now. 1 2, and there's 1 2. So nothing else changes now. They belong together. Nothing can be changed. There's 1 2 3 minim beats, bar line, which will tie over. So there's our bar line. There's 1. They belong to that minim beat, so they will have to be not joined to anything later because they belong to this first unit beat. So we can see there is a minim or a half note group. So there's beat 1. And now 1 2 3, those will also make a minim or a half note, so we can make those all together look like a unit by beaming all of those together. Going to have to make a decision about this stem situation though, and so they can go either way. That one is just 1 step away from going either way. This one is further away, and so I suggest this one is the one that overrules. So the stems will come down. And then of course we can't change here, but that makes our final minim beat. So we've got 3 half notes, 3 minim beats. There's 1 2 3, and we can see that nicely reflected. And then this last bar is incomplete. There we go. Let's look at the next one. We're getting there. So have a go with this yourself. Remember that we're having to reflect 2 groups of 3. We're in compound time again here. So we're going to have to split up all of these rests and whole notes or semi-breves to make sure that we properly reflect this unit value. So I'm hoping you've had a go of that yourself. Let's look at it together now. So we're looking for 2 groups of 3, and so this one will have to stay. There's 1 2. We've got another beat of that to go though, and so we'll have to split this into a 1 tied to a 3, and then we can see 1 2 3 1 2 3. That one is now completely used up. 1 2 3 4, and so we're going to have to split this one again, aren't we? First of all, we can add a bar line because 1 2 3 4 5 6. There's our first bar complete, and then this we need to show 1 2 3 4 5 crotchet beats or 5 quarter notes, but we need to show it in groups of 3. So 1 2 3 4 5 is best represented like that. We can see the groups of 3 here. At the moment that looks like groups of 2, but we've still added up to the same value, so we need to just add ties. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, and then this one will complete that second group of 3. 1 2 3 1 2 3, and so that's our bar line. Bit tricky that bar there. As long as you make sure that you've added up to the same number of beats, but you've divided it showing units of 3. Okay, so we're going to have to just split this one here because we've got 1, 2, we need 1 beat of that there and 2 beats of that in the next unit group. So we're going to have to just split that and use a tie to combine the note values. So we want 1 beat, 1 crotchet there, and so we need to tie it to a minim or a half note to give it the same value. But there we can see there's 1 group of 3, and then this belongs 1, 2, 3, and then we've got our 2 groups of 3, so we need a bar line. So we're going to have to just tidy up this last bar because obviously we've got 1 beat here, the rest of the bar is silence, so we've got 5 crotchet beats, 5 quarter notes, but we need to show that in terms of groups of 3. Now remember, each new beat requires a new rest, so 1, 2, 3, so that's the first beat. So we've got half a bar left, which is shown as a minim with a dot. So you can very easily see now our 2 groups of 3. Quite a tricky one, that one. But you've always got to think about keeping it tidy, tidying up and showing each unit group. So this last one, we're going to be dealing in small divisions of semiquavers or 16th notes, and we need to show its quadruple time, and we need to show 4 groups of 3. We're dealing in 4 groups of semiquavers. That's what we need to show each unit beat. We've got an anacrusis first of all though, so let's just get that upbeat out of the way. There we go, so with nothing doing there. Okay, so we need to keep showing groups of 3 semiquavers or 3 16th notes. So we've got 1, 2, so we're going to have to split this one between the 2 groups, so we'll have to use a tie. So it looks like we're writing the note twice. But it adds up to the same amount of time. So we've got 1, 2, and again we're going to have to split that either way. 1, 2, 3, tie it. 1, 2, we're going to have to split that one again, dearie me. Let's think about what we're going to do. I think the stems will have to come down for upwards for this one because we're below, and then this one I think we're going to have to choose that way. So where are we to? There's 1, 2, 3. Finally we can finish the bar in a group of 3 here. So, and then that's tied, that will be tied over the bar line there. Just gone a little, I've spread a little further, that's that one there. So I think the stems can come down here. It's up here because the notes are below the middle line. 2 out of 3 overrules that really. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but we've had to keep splitting these notes to show the groupings and use ties to equate the time value. Okie dokie, so now we're going to have to continue in that manner because we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have the same problem again in this next bar. So G, top, F, E, tie it. So that gives us the B, A sharp. When you've got loads and loads of tiny notes like this, it shows where you need a sharp pencil. Tie it. 1, 2, 3. So let's look at that. So we'll have stems coming down for these high notes. I think we can do the same again. That one could go either way, that's highest. So to put my tie, because the stems are going the other way, the tie will go there. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so now we've got our final group of 3 includes a rest, so we can only beam these last 2 together because the rest completes that group of 3. And our last note will have to be on its own because there's nothing to add that, and it's an incomplete bar. There we go, that was tricky. However, you've just got to keep it tidy and keep everything firmly in your mind where each group of 3 is. I do hope that's been helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's loads more to come. We're on to the really good stuff now. I hope you're enjoying this just as much as I am. Thank you for watching. Please do go to sharonbill.com. There's loads there for you. Subscribe to my channel to keep updated. See you next time. Bye.